righty, 10:03 on the fan. What's going on, everybody? How are we today? TikTok. Moving toward the old Super Bowl, Mr. Barber. But some baseball things on the old docket today. A little Cashman yesterday and a little Metsies today, I see.
Steve Cashman is, we had our issue with his statement, kind of dismissing Yankee fans' ire for not getting to a championship. Not winning, but just getting to a championship. He's just like dismissive, which frustrates you.
Yeah.
What doesn't frustrate you is the other owner in this city, Steve Cohen, who is taking some issue with other MLB owners having problems with him spending money. And I can't tell you how I wish I was a Mets fan. I'm not. I wish I was a Mets fan.
Wow.
I'm more of a Yankee fan because when you hear an owner say this, I'm not responsible for how other teams run their clubs. I'm really not. This is his quote. That's not my job. And there are disparities in baseball. He's obviously talking about money, talking about the money that teams spend. We know that to be true. I'm following the rules. They set down the rules. I'm following them. That means I'm spending money. I don't care how much it's going to cost me. And this year it's going to be almost $500 million that he's spending on payroll, $500 million to try to win a championship. Other teams may bitch and moan and complain. We put in a new tax for him. He's like, I don't care. I'm still spending the money. Steve Cohen is going to make the Mets the most dominant team in this city. You can feel it because money's not an issue. And if it was the NFL, BT, there's a cap. You can want to spend as much. You can upgrade the facility. You can, hire the best and the greatest and put in technology and want free agents to come here. But that's still on the free agents to want to come there, right? In baseball, where there is no cap, there is no restriction on what money can do for you, Steve Cohen has the ability to spend it and to make them the best team in this city. And it feels like it's inevitable. It really does. Because
you hear this guy today?
He's doubling down on this so many times. It's from the very beginning.
He does.
He's just saying it over and over and over. And then all of a sudden the other owners, we can't have Steve Cohen spending all this money. Guess what? You make the rules. You don't like it? Change the rules. Otherwise, I'm spending $1 billion to win. And I believe him. It's not like he's just saying that.
Yeah.
He's just saying, I got money. Look how big my wallet is.
This isn't the press conference when, he took over the team.
No.
These are actions.
Dude,
he's backing it up.
He just said, if you don't like me spending money, change the damn rules.
That's right.
And nobody's going to do that.
He also said this, quote, I've heard what everybody else has heard, and they're not happy with me. I hear things from people who are maybe more neutral, that they're taking a lot of heat from their fans. I kind of look at it like this. You're looking at the wrong person. They're putting it on me. Maybe they need to look more at themselves. Let me tell you something right now. It remains to be seen if the Mets morph into what you just said they will morph into. You got to win one before you win five. So I got that.
Of course.
But I will say this fundamentally. Every New York-based team, maybe with the exception of the Devils and the Islanders, based on and I'm not disrespecting the fan bases. The fans they have are amazing.
Yes.
It's not my intent, but it's just smaller in numbers. Revenue stream is different. Okay. So the exception of maybe, I'm not even sure, but maybe the Devils and the Islanders, every New York-based sports team should comport themselves the way Stevie Cohen's comporting himself.
Should.
That's what I'm saying. Should.
They should, yes.
And truth of the matter is, most of them do. The Knicks spend. The Nets have spent. The Jets and the Giants spend.
Yeah,
the Rangers spend. Liberty's stacking up.
I know.
And by the way, even I say the Islanders, they just made a nice trade. They gave the guy a contract immediately.
Yes.
8 years, $60-something million. Horvat, whatever the amount is. I think it's 60-something. So this is phenomenal. This is outstanding. This is inspiring. This is galvanizing. I think it's a little strong when Tiki comes out and says that. How exactly did you frame it? I don't want to misquote you. He's about to what?
They are about to make the Mets the most dominant team in this city. Because think about who they've brought in.
The most dominant. I would change the word dominant.
Okay, to what?
I would use the word aggressive.
Aggressive. I mean, of course they're aggressive.
Well, but you can be aggressive without being dominant.
Okay, yeah, but if you're going to spend money to bring in the best players, so next year you have a third base issue or whatever.
Well, next year they have Ohtani coming.
Exactly. Well, exactly.
So the $500 million.
Exactly.
Going up.
And so next year you get Shohei Ohtani. And this year they could be, they could get him in the middle of this year. Who knows what could happen at the trade deadline.
That's true.
But sparing no expense to get the best players, because my sole and primary goal is to win a championship, is something that is it just sounds amazing. And it's weird because other teams like the Dodgers, the Rangers are even trying this. Hell, San Diego's been trying it for a couple of years now. They'll spend money. Yeah, we'll spend the money. We got to do what we got to do to bring in the best players. Yep, we're going to spend the money, but we're not going to spend that much money. Right, we don't want to get that much into the luxury tax. Stevie Cohen doesn't care, and like when he says this, and I can't restate it enough. He's doubling down on him spending money. He's hearing the noise that other owners and critics of his spending are throwing at him, and he's saying that's not my fault. Change the rule if you don't like it. I'm going to spend money because I want to build a winner, and I'm going to do it the only way I know how.
How do you think that impacts the Yankees down the road? It didn't impact them this winter. So the first thing, I know Rodon is here, which is great, but they didn't do some other things we thought they might do. How does it not eventually impact the Yankees?
It only impacts the Yankees
if they win a World Series.
If the Mets win and keep winning, win, get back again. Maybe don't win again, but they just keep being there. And all of a sudden, for the 8 to 10, 12, 15-year-old kids, all of a sudden, all you're talking about is the Mets, right? You're not talking about the Yankees' history and the 20, however many championships that they have.
If you're a Yankee fan, you got to know.
Whatever. But you know what I mean? It's not all of a sudden you're talking about the Mets as opposed to the Yankees.
Like the 80s.
That's when it starts to affect the Yankees. Okay. But until that happens, I don't think it's in effect yet.
877-337-6666 is our number. Tiki and Tierney here on the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. I know Hoff likes what he's hearing today. Town Fair, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Listen, this is a license to dominate because the Mets have an owner who is a true fan. He loves this team. And he's got everybody has some limitations, but when your net worth is, $15 billion, they're not very visible in terms of any sort of financial limitations and or ramifications if you exceed those limitations. So you got a crazy fan with an endless supply of loot to do whatever he wants, to usurp the Yankees. And by the way,
I don't even think it's about the Yankees.
No, well, true. That's true. That's actually true.
I think it has nothing to do with the Yankees.
Good check on that.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's about the Mets. And, when you fly by the Yankees, if they do, that's just one of the many obstacles that you're flying over.
Yeah.
He's going big, not just, you're right. You are right.
I don't think he's trying to better and best the Yankees. I don't think that's in his DNA. I think he's just trying to win at what he can win at and be the best at what he can be at. Yeah. He's never going to surpass the Yankees' history, right? He's never going to do that. And I don't think he's trying to. But I do think he's trying to get in an industry and dominate that industry because that's what he's done his entire life is just get into an industry and dominate it. He's one of the richest men in America, right? So it's all about domination. And it's getting to the rules. It's, towing the edge. And in this case, because there really isn't a cap, right? There isn't an edge to the rule. He's going to spend $500 million. It's $470 million he's spending this year. And now we're not even talking about Ohtani yet.
And by the way, wait till you see what he does with the land. By the chop shop's gone.
Yeah,
they're going soon.
That's right.
I don't know if it's going to be casino, a soccer I don't know what's coming there, but something's coming.
No doubt about it.
Eventually is coming.
Yeah, it's going
by way of Stevie.
It's going to be a destination. It's not going to be driving around the backside of Citi Field like, where am I?
Yeah, exactly. That's tough.
I feel lost right now.
You're going there outside of a Mets game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And soon you will be.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when you contrast, what we spoke about yesterday. And I got to tell you, this Cashman stuff, it's starting to get a little more publicity now. I heard Boomer and Gio talking about it. I am still stunned that this really was buried in the weeds for as long as I just didn't see it over the weekend. And not to pat myself on the, I don't miss much. I scour. I'm looking. I am hunting. for content for the show. That never stops. But because it was an interview in Chicago, didn't get any play in the New York papers. I didn't see it online. I didn't see it. But when you compare and contrast yesterday's conversation, and, for years, the Yankees espoused championships or it was a failure. George did it. Jeter always did it. Cashman latched onto that. And then, of course, yesterday or over the weekend, Cashman again moves the goalposts for what we should view as a success or a failure for the Yankees. Today, you got the quotes from Cohen saying, yo, you don't like the rules. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
Tough.
that's right. I'm spending money.
Too bad.
I'm spending money.
What a difference,
You guys made the rule. If you want to bitch at the rule makers, not me.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's pretty aggressive. That's pretty strong. He is doing what every Met fan would do if they had his net worth and they own the Mets. And you got to love that. You got to. 877-337-6666. Stanley's in New Haven. Stano's on the fan. What's going on, Stanley?
What's happening, Stanley?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, bud.
Diehard Met fan here. Now, I agree with you guys as far as, spending money. But I also believe that you have to spend it on the right people.
Yes.
And going forward, I think the Mets still need that big bat. It showed in the playoffs when those guys were, hitting those long balls. We were hitting singles and not getting hits at all. And I don't believe in those two old pitchers at the front of the rotation. It's a long season. Are they going to be able to pitch strong in the playoffs?
You know what, though, Stanley? Can I jump in for 1 sec? By the way, everything that you said so far, I totally agree. Mm-hmm. They needed a little more thump last year. I think they might need it this year. The age at the front of the rotation is problematic, or could be. I agree with you. But that's like the micro stuff. That's a little bit of the minutia of the season. We're not getting on the air today previewing the season, though I certainly appreciate your focus on some things that could be an issue. This is bigger picture. This is seemingly a reversal in script by the Yankees and the Mets. And not that the Mets always have to be thrust into the Yankee conversation or vice versa. I just find the timing incredibly interesting. Yesterday was the Cashman stuff, and it bothered me. And today's the Mets stuff, and it's got to have Met fans pumped up. That's what this is about.
Well, I mean, listen, I love Uncle Stevie. I love that big wallet. I'm glad that, we've moved on from the Wilpons. But, my focus is on.
But you seem hesitant, Stanley. Why are you hesitant about this? It's not your money. He wants to spend it, right?
Listen. I want to spend that money, but I also want to bring in people that's going to get us there. I just don't want to be just throwing money at the second tier guy or the third tier guy just to fill a hole. When Soto was available, I wanted Soto. You know what I mean? So those are the guys. Alonso, he's going to hit us some home runs. But Alonso also falls asleep once in a while. So we need that big bat, to come through, to fire up the club, to fire up the fans. Guys are just going to come up and, you get that feel. He's about to take your yard.
Yeah.
So that, if you look at the Phillies line up, the Dodgers line up, the Padres line up.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys got some boppers, man.
Yeah, they do.
The Mets need a little more electricity, I think is the way to
you're
put
right.
it.
And by the way,
a little more electricity in the lineup.
Trust me, if this thing doesn't work out with Scherzer and Verlander, as Stanley was just talking about the age at the front of the lineup, the pitching rotation, I should say. Guess what? Stevie Cohen's going to say, all right, let's take a quick step back and reassess. And what are we going to do? Oh, wait, Juan Soto's a free agent in 2025.
Correct.
Or 2020 after the 24 season. Let's go get him.
For sure.
We're not going to trade for him. I'm not going to give away my farm. I don't got to give it. He's plan B right now for 2 years from now. It's going to cost me another $350 million, $400 million. All right. Sounds good. I'm not making the rules. I'm abiding by the rules and spending as much money as I possibly can.
Is there a point where baseball intervenes and
dude, they're gonna have to. They're going to have to.
I hope they don't.
I mean, I'm trying to think.
Every boundary they put up, he's just gonna fly by.
Dude, I remember
like the fourth tier of tax.
Yeah, you remember when
I don't care.
was it the Dodgers? Remember the Dodgers spent like $380 something million. This was probably 6 or 7 years ago. You just looked at the payroll and you were like, "Oh my Lord, that is enormous." They're $200 million more, and not a short amount of time than Mets. And they were going to give Carlos Correa $315 million. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just unbelievable how much money Steve Cohen is willing to spend to create a winner.
Well, think about the first call. He was hesitant. You don't want to throw money at everything, but think about, you bring up Correa.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to give what they were going to give, but then sensibility won out,
Yes.
and they said, hey, we might have deep pockets. We're not giving it away. We're not suckers here.
Yes.
So there is some sort of internal mechanism that they're aware of, that they're not going to just be stupid.
That's right.
They're going to guide themselves and listen to their medical people and baseball people, and then keep cutting checks if it makes sense.
What's up, Joe?
Joe's in Clark. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, look, guys, I basically, he stole my thunder. I mean, everything he just said, that caller, is basically what I was going to say. Look, I'm a realistic Mets fan. I look at the $486 million payroll, and to me, he's not getting bang. He's not getting a lot of bang for his buck right now on paper. When you look at that 6-9 guys, you look at Vogelback, Kana, Escobar, and Nito. I mean, you got to be kidding me. That's
but do you believe Do you believe that that's going to be the lineup at some point? At some point, do you think they change?
I'm hearing Ruff is still in the play for the right-handed DH. That's malpractice if that happens. I mean, look, guys, I was at the Game 3 last year against the Padres, sitting there with my Met buddies. We looked at each other when we got one hit by Musgrove, one hit in 9 innings.
Yeah.
We looked at each other, guys, we got to add some bats.
Yeah. Joe, by the way,
they added nothing. Nothing. No bats.
I get it. You're a Game 3.
I wanted Correa, bro. Guys, look, man, I wanted Correa. I understand about his ankle, and look at me. They could have went to 6 years. Epler talked him out of it. Cohen wanted. I guarantee you, he wants to probably win the MVP. He makes all the difference in the world to that team, bro.
Yeah,
they're going to win a World Series with Correa.
But I think they also rationalized what they would be, like the opportunity cost. So if you spend all that money on Correa, what does it do to your pursuit of Ohtani, right? What does it do to your pursuit of Soto? Whoever else is also there that doesn't have the same amount of risk, and I put that in quotes, the risk of Carlos Correa's ankle injury. Like, what does that do to you if you sign him? He's 6 years there, and all of a sudden he gets hurt, right? I think they had to weigh it, and I think they did it smartly.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of Cohen. He's got the ability to buy out mistakes.
Yes, I know that, but
that's what.
But if that one
is so interesting,
if they had signed Correa and it hadn't worked out, it's an expensive mistake. I know he can get out of it. Yes, I get it.
Yep,
it's an expensive mistake.
It is. It's not $10 million. I get you. It's a lot of money.
All they were trying to do was protect themselves against that mistake, and Correa didn't want to hear it.
No, I understood, but think about this. If you win the World Series this year or next year, it's worth it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. True.
So
true.
And their offense is still, I think, in the eyes of many, including me, a tick behind, a tick. Not a ton.
Was Carlos Correa taking them over?
I mean, baseball's funny.
Yeah.
You never really know, but I mean, he would have been a beast. He would have been great for this team.
It would have been amazing.
It really would have been. But, I mean, so I come in today, and Tiki tells me that Stevie Cohen's going to own the city. That's what he tells me. That's what he's hitting me with. So that's what Tiki's saying today, that the Mets are on the precipice of owning the city. 877-337-6666. And let's face it, from a baseball point of view, when you heard what Cashman said over the weekend, that's probably an unsettling statement because it might sound as true as it sounded in a long time. Tiki and Tierney right here on The Fan.